All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for just another pack. Another, golly. All right.
Okay, that started off bumpy.
All right now. Okay.
We done had a bro moment already and just trying to introduce the show.
Lord have mercy. All right. Anyway, let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. All right. That direction. The defensive minded guy that calls the shots, got the jokes. Pando 316 from Houston. What's up, man?
Man, it's all good, man. Still looking for Tristan and Steve. Because for those of y'all who are new to the show, there are actually 4 of us.
Yeah, there's 4 of us. It really is. And then so when you look at introduction, the second video, like you see 4 of us. It really is 4 of us, but it's like, yeah, they have a hard time getting on. As a matter of fact, tonight, Steve got blown like 20 yards down the football field, so he won't be on tonight. And Tristan is hanging upside down outside the window for some odd reason. So don't ask him what's going on with either one of them. But it's all good. Also, I am quarter host, Coach Williams. I'm not trying to be rude. The NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. And as you can see now, well, actually, hold on, let me before I even introduce the title. We are 1 full week in, brand new. We have a TikTok channel. So TikTok channel at Just a Fan Pod. I'm gonna put in the chat. Fan Pod. That way y'all can go. Oh, I need an A in there. Just a Fan Pod. And then follow us on TikTok. Because we got videos up already. I plan on doing 3 more videos over the next 5 days. So get ready to check us out. But anyway, you can see the title on the show. NFC and AFC chatter, North chatter. So we're gonna be talking about team needs for the AFC North and the NFC North. And when I say team needs, it's gonna be draft related. So Eric, do you want to kick us off with a team for the AFC North? It don't matter who.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start with the one that's getting all of the chatter right now. I feel like everybody's trying to figure out what is going on out there. And it's gonna be your neck of the woods, Brandon. Well, right now you're not in your neck of the woods, but
no, I'm not right now. Currently not right now. But when I get back home, there are multiple ways to get from the DC area to Baltimore.
Exactly, that's where I'm going. Talking about the Baltimore Ravens, they have several needs that they need to look at, and a lot of people are like scratching their heads. And I think the number one need, if things keep going like they're trending, is quarterback.
Yeah,
I have several other needs down here, but quarterback is one of them. Some people are in denial. They're like, "No, we good. We don't need Lamar ain't going nowhere." And and it's like, "Hey, man, this man don't want to be there."
Nope.
So you need to go ahead and start making the appropriate movements to go ahead and figure out what you're gonna do um, about trying to find you a quarterback,
Yeah.
serviceable quarterback. And right now, let me see, where do they don't draft? What does Baltimore draft?
Baltimore is picking at number 22.
Yeah, so the pickings are slim right now. So, um, what up, Don? Um, it's one of our major supporters, Donald Valerie. It's my homeboy, it's my brother. But yeah, the quarterback has got to be a significant need for them. For those people who live in reality and realize, hey man, Lamar could very well leave. You need to go have a contingency plan. And that's not to say they wouldn't work things out. There's a chance they could work things out,
Mhm.
Where things are okay and Lamar decides to come back and play under their exclusive rights franchise tag. It could happen.
It could.
But for argument's sake, y'all need to be looking at for a quarterback, Baltimore. I also have wide receiver one.
Yes, they need an anchor bad.
They have not had an anchor wide receiver probably since Anquan Bolden, in my opinion.
Now who came first, Bolden or Steve Smith Sr.?
Oh, I want to say Steve Smith came after Bolden. No,
Yeah, so
no. Wait. Think.
hold on.
Ooh, man, I'm getting my years crossed up. I gotta think about that.
Hold on, give me a second. What keep going though?
Yeah, so but if we switching it up, they hadn't had an anchor receiver since Steve Smith. It's been some time, put it like that. If it was Steve Smith or Anquan Bolden, they have not had an alpha receiver. And even if they did have an alpha receiver, Greg Roman has been holding that passing game back for the longest. Don't at me, it's just the truth. So even if they did, and Greg Roman's not there anymore, but even if they did decide to move forward with the passing game, they need an alpha dog receiver. They need, if I was them, Steve Smith was the last one.
Yeah, he was. I just found out.
Okay, so I apologize. They hadn't had an alpha receiver since Steve Smith. So receiver one is a definite need.
Yes.
For this Baltimore team, regardless of who the quarterback is.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if they had a true alpha receiver, let's say they'd have traded for DeAndre Hopkins or something like that, something along those lines. If that would have happened, Lamar Jackson probably would have had a little bit more success over the years.
Yeah.
It's you can't overlook that. That was a need before all of this other drama started. Before the whole Lamar Jackson thing, before any of that, receiver was always a need. And I think most Baltimore fans would not disagree with me on that. Corner, Marcus Peters is kind of getting long in the tooth.
I think he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Plus, what I'm saying is don't even try to re-sign him.
Oh yeah, no. Marcus Peters is finished. Matter of fact, corners like him and Janoris Jenkins need to go ahead and retire, and Josh Norman. All three of them need to go ahead, submit retirement paperwork, and just send it to the league office, fax it off, and just call it quits. It's okay. You don't have to play anymore.
I thought Josh Norman was still playing. Who was he playing for?
Josh Norman was somewhere last year, wasn't he?
I don't know. I don't think he was he?
He hasn't fully retired.
He hasn't officially retired, but I don't know if he was with a team. But Marcus Peters is one of those that, hey man, we can't do that no more.
No, he's in Carolina.
He's in Carolina. Okay.
He was, yeah.
But so you don't waste money re-signing to Marcus Peters.
No.
And I've said it in previous shows as we lead up to the draft over and over and over and over again. This is a defensive back rich draft. You can find starting caliber defensive backs all the way probably up to the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
Just
a bunch of corners.
I have my vision is impaired right now. I've looked at so much film on defensive backs right now, and there's so many good ones. There are so many. You got your upper tier guys like your Gonzalez
Oregon.
out of Oregon, but then you got this second tier of guys that are still solid, gonna be solid starters for you. They're guys that people hadn't heard of that are
Mhm.
gonna be that are fantastic. Baltimore needs to draft a corner. Definitely.
Yes.
I draft a receiver, draft a corner. And to be clear, these are needs that we're talking about, but these aren't exactly in the specific order that they need to address them. So I want to be clear on that for those of you who are viewing. It's not in order of importance, but we definitely, hey, you do need this. Now
Yeah,
you
definitely.
determine the priority as a team. It's your job to determine the priority as a team, but uh
Let me
definitely.
let me say this. Let me say this. Be honest with you. This is another reason why they should just trade Lamar Jackson because you're not going anywhere anytime soon. Um, and you got to compete with Cincinnati in your division, Kansas City in your conference. And there's other teams who could be moving up or down this coming off season, depending on performance and stuff. I know Lamar Jackson is great quarterback, but you need a quarterback. Like we're saying, trade him and get draft picks. Get draft picks. Go ahead and start building this team again. Because for real, Cincinnati's not going to be able to keep this team around much longer. Everybody can't get paid in Cincinnati.
Mm-mm.
Burrow can't get paid at the same time with Higgins, Chase, Boyd. I mean, that's just too much.
You got this whole power shift thing happening, and we could be watching. Remember how they would say that nobody's won the NFC East 2 years in a
In a
row
row, exactly.
for like almost what's been like almost 2 decades now, close to
Yeah,
it.
almost 2 decades.
Oh, I think you're going to start to witness that happening in the AFC North. Uh, right now, the big dog is Cincinnati,
Yeah,
but it won't be long because eventually, you're right. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to pay all those guys.
they can't.
You're not going to be able to. So it is what it is. It's like so. If I'm Baltimore, I'm patient. I go ahead and I trade Lamar Jackson. I get a crap ton of picks,
Yeah,
and then
especially first round picks. You hit on those guys, man. Shoot.
and if your scouting department is good, if Ozzie Newsome still has his hand a little bit in the draft decisions being made, then you can make a splash here that sort of an under the radar splash. You pick up
Yeah,
some players over time. Nobody's really paying attention. They're like, oh, Baltimore just drafted some guys. And the next thing you know, find your serviceable quarterback. And
mm-hmm.
then the next thing you know, whoa, here's Baltimore. They're back at it again.
Yep,
They're right back in the conversation. So I digress from my list. There's two other positions that need to be addressed. Edge rusher.
yeah.
I don't think they
Now, I will say something about Edge. Okay,
okay.
I'm interested in how this is going to go with Edge because maybe it might be a depth thing more than a starting thing, or it could be a combination of both. Because remember, these last couple of years they drafted edge players. Now they haven't done much of anything yet, but
Okay.
if they can get going this year, it won't be a huge need.
So you're
They
saying
draft they
with the
drafted
guys that you're
they
saying
draft
the guys that are already on the roster?
yeah, because they drafted dude from Penn State the same year Parsons came out, and then last year they drafted that edge from Michigan, but he tore his Achilles, so he fell in the draft. But I think he played towards the end of the season, I think. But they got a couple edge players. If they get going this year, it may not, I mean draft one who could still be a starter eventually, but they may have a couple starters on their roster. They just need to get going.
Well, again, not a pressing need, but definitely something that should be addressed. And then also interior offensive line.
Yeah.
So I have wide receiver one, corner, Wait, quarterback, wide receiver 1, corner, edge rusher, interior offensive line.
Yes.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
Yes.
Those of you who are viewing, if you disagree, please, by all means, comment. But yeah, I think that's something that that definitely needs to be addressed in the draft. Right now, Baltimore is sitting at
22.
22 in the draft. I'm looking at they have 24.3 million in cap space, which is not bad. No, they drafted 23 and 86. So those are 2 top 100 picks. You know,
Why do I have Baltimore 22 according to CBS Sports?
I'm looking at 23. Well, tomato. That's about the same area.
Yeah, I mean whatever. But yeah. The first team I'm gonna do is the NFC North champions, the overrated Minnesota Vikings.
It's extremely overrated.
Now,
Quarterback.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I was just going to say that because I was going to say I'm gonna say a position that no one's even talking about, and that's quarterback. Kirk Cousins is overrated. Now I'm gonna say something too that's gonna tick off Eric, and he already knows what I'm talking about. But there are rumors that Kirk Cousins could end up in San Francisco, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Please don't get into that because I'm that's a whole nother topic to discuss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if it happens. So let's just wait. Even though it shouldn't.
It should not.
Kirk Cousins, as a matter of fact, Minnesota needs to just move on from this guy. Okay. Stop restructuring his contract. Stop giving him an extension. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. They come on, give me the contract breakdown. Come on. Okay, well, anyway, I think they need to move off of Kirk Cousins at quarterback because he's just not it at quarterback. I think when it comes to quarterbacks like a Kirk Cousins and a Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, I'm putting them in the same breath.
You should.
There is a point in time where you have to realize that, yeah, when you was their head coach or offense coordinator when they were young and they would look like they were looking promising. Kirk Cousins with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo with Joshua McDaniels. But now you know who they are. You need to move on from them. Trisha said they're not drafting a quarterback this year. Next year, this class is stacked. Yeah. You've been saying that the quarterback class has been stacked too. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, they need to move on from him. He has a lot of void years in his contract, so he might be a free agent after this coming season, and that'd be good for Minnesota. Like I said, Minnesota just need to move on from him. Another team need for Minnesota, they have wide receiver, and it's not going to be anchor wide receiver because they have Justin Jefferson, but they do need a number 2 and a number 3. Actually, you need depth. Period. Corner, they can definitely use depth there. They signed Byron Murphy, so it's not. They need depth there as well. So corner, wide receiver, they need depth. Interior offensive line, safety, D line, like they have some needs, and
they probably need to retool that entire secondary.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Outside of, let's see, 3, maybe 4 players, they need to just wipe out that team, that roster. So Jefferson is good. Cook is good. The only problem with Cook is he's a running back, and so whatever. And then Hawkinson.
Outside of those 3 pieces, pretty much they need to basically rebuild.
Move on.
Rebuild around those.
Yeah.
Pieces.
Yes, because that team is just not they're not going to. They over achieved this year, and they're not going to. Detroit, if Detroit drafts well, and we still waiting on Aaron Rodgers to get traded to the Jets.
Whenever that happens, whenever that
Detroit is
magical,
one.
mystical, majestical day arrives, we don't know.
Detroit's winning that division hands down, and Chicago could be, depending on what they do, could be right behind them. And Minnesota could possibly fall because I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all. So Minnesota needs a quarterback.
And spoiler alert! And before when we start talking about our predictions for these divisions going into this particular season, um, I'm leaning heavily toward Detroit and Chicago. I sincerely believe Minnesota and Green Bay are going to take a huge step back.
You know what?
They're showing
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry. What's your analysis on Minnesota? Continue.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much fine. Pretty much done. They need a quarterback. They need to move on from Kirk Cousins. Don't give him any more money after the season, and just get a quarterback. But you have three players you need to build around: Hawkinson, Cook, and definitely Justin Jefferson.
He's probably, honestly, Justin Jefferson more than likely is probably the most important asset for this team at this point. You know, that guy you hang the image of the franchise on right now.
Yeah.
When you think this team, you think this player.
Yes.
Justin Jefferson's that guy right now.
Yeah.
It's not Kirk Cousins. It's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. On April 4th, 2023, if you ask a true football fan, who's the face of the franchise right now, the answer is truly Justin Jefferson. If you ask some fan that just don't know nothing, they're gonna say Kirk Cousins. But the answer is really Justin Jefferson.
I mean, he was Offensive Player of the Year this year. You know, I mean, it's hard to dispute it.
They built the offense around him. The new head coach Kevin O'Connell said, "Look, I'm gonna do Justin Jefferson just like I did Cooper Kupp. Put him in the slot and let him ride."
Yeah. So yeah.
Who you got for AFC North?
I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. There's a lot of things going on in Cincinnati. Obviously, the most glaring need probably is going to be along the offensive line. I do have offensive tackle, even though they made that signing. Oh my God, it slips my mind. This is not a good
shot. Zeus Jr.
Yeah. So
they need a right tackle because I'm hearing they about to release Lyle Collins.
See, so tackle is a need.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, safety is a need because if I'm not mistaken, didn't both safeties defect?
Yes. So they need to replace only one because they drafted one last year. And what's that safety's name from last year? They drafted. His name slips my mind too. They got him towards the end.
Well, we up here like a couple of old men. We can't remember nothing tonight. I didn't put anything in my notes or anything like that. Yeah.
What's dude's name? Where is he at? Safety. Daxton Hill? Yeah, Daxton Hill.
Okay.
So they got him, and then
but you need somebody on the other side of it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, so you safety is definitely a need, and honestly, safety and corner is a need because you hopefully are smart enough to have let Eli Apple walk off into the sunset.
Well, that's somebody else that need to retire.
Yeah, hopefully he'll retire, but he probably won't. But then when nobody gives him a job, he'll go ahead and retire. But
as a matter of fact, Eli Apple is Titus Ross's favorite corner of all time.
Boy, look you. I think anybody who is a Saints fan, I'm sorry, wait, a Giants fan, a Saints fan, or a Bengals fan cannot stand Eli Apple. And yeah, so hopefully by now he's in that mindset, well, you know what, I just need to go to the house because, He was always, remember that show? You Are the Weakest Link. Goodbye.
Yeah. Actually,
That,
do you remember? Do you remember the song "The Weakest Link" by Trillville?
no, I do not
Really?
remember that. I don't. I really don't remember that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play that for you.
But yeah, so definitely issues in the secondary. We covered offensive tackle, linebacker, interior linebacker, off the ball linebacker.
Okay.
I think is an issue with Cincinnati, and then with the possibility of losing Joe Mixon, didn't they lose Smosh P Ryan?
I think so.
So yeah, you need another running back.
Yeah.
Which again, y'all know my philosophy. If you've watched our show, you know my philosophy on running backs. You can find you a good running back from the 4th round on down. You do not
Yes.
need to go high in the draft to find a good running back. So that's something that they need to address, though. Definitely something they need to address. So that's Cincinnati. They're still going to be a tough sell. When I say a tough sell, I mean you ain't finna just go in there and walk in on them and do them any kind of way.
No.
They're still gonna be one of the best teams in the AFC.
Definitely.
They know how to draft well, and I think they will address these issues. But there's gonna come a time when Joe Burrow's contract comes up. It's gonna be somewhat of an issue.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not gonna be able to retain a lot of. They're not gonna be able to retain a lot of talent.
No.
Because of Joe Burrow's contract that's going to be coming up. Because I think they're going to back up the Brinks truck for him.
Yes.
But that's why it's imperative if they want to maintain their success in the AFC North, that they're going to have to draft well. It's not we can miss on this guy and that guy. They're going to have to hit. So all these guys on rookie deals, and you got Joe Burrow and all these guys on a rookie deal, and you find a way to make it work. So. But that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. All right. The next team I'm going to do is a team that I feel like is going to win the division next year. Spoiler alert. Well, not really. Detroit. Yeah, Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
It says they need corner. I don't think they need corner anymore because they added Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton, and then they added a safety and Johnson Garner-Johnson. Well, I'm gonna say DB.
Now, we'll say this about Emmanuel Mosley. We still don't know how he's coming back from that torn ACL, which is one of the reasons why I think that San Francisco let him walk, because he signed a very affordable contract with Detroit. It wasn't like he broke the bank. So I'm thinking that's one of the reasons why maybe, and this is a big maybe, that San Francisco let him walk.
Okay, that's understandable. So, but you can find a cornerback in the draft, and still be serviceable
in this draft, definitely.
In this draft, so they need to. So just get one just because. Tight end, yeah, because they let go of Hawkinson. But I mean, you can find a big wide receiver moving to tight end. I mean, you can find a tight end anywhere.
I don't know about that, man. Like that experiment doesn't typically work all the time. Like when you try to find a big wide receiver, give him a peanut butter sandwich and a dumbbell, and expect him to do tight end things, because you gotta look at your elite tight ends in the league. These guys are elite, not just elite pass catchers, but they're elite blockers. So, it's different from blocking coming off of a 2-point stance at the end of the formation as opposed to coming out of a 3-point stance like a lineman.
Now,
yeah.
I hear you, and I'm gonna raise you this.
Okay.
Depending on how you run your offense, do you always have to have the tight end in line?
No. And here's the thing about that, though. Most of those guys who do that, like your Pitts, I still don't view Pitts as a true Kyle Pitts as a true tight end.
No, I get that. I understand. But by position, they got him listed as a tight end. Darren Waller, when he came out of college, I mean, when he was in Baltimore, he was listed as a wide receiver, but then he moved to tight end.
And I hear you. I hear everything you're saying. But the issue is that, it doesn't always work in that instance. So, like,
And that is
I
true.
guess what I'm saying is that we can't just make that assumption of we'll just take a big wide receiver and make him a tight end. I think they should actually draft a true tight end, especially if you want somebody that can do what Hawkinson did. I'm just saying.
No, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. Because blocking, tight ends should be able to block in my opinion as well. But some of them can, some of them can't. Another need for Detroit is interior defensive line. They have two defensive ends I believe in a lot, not just Aiden Hutchinson, but that fourth round guy they drafted last year.
His name always slips my mind, and I scouted him last year. He's out of Kentucky, I believe.
Really?
And I think I know who you're talking about, and he's pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
And he is right now in this very moment. His name slips my mind, and I think he's really good.
Is it it's not Romeo Aquara, is it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Are they still got Charles Harris?
Josh Pascal. Josh Pascal.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Pascal. That's right. Okay.
Pascal or Pascal. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I hope I'm not butchering that brother's name. But
I was correct. He was drafted in round 2 last year. I thought it was round 4.
Yeah,
he's from DC.
Yeah, and he went to Kentucky and looked at his film last year and coming out, and I was like, okay,
I know
he's gonna be a steal. So I think if you put him on the other side of Hutchinson, because again, when you're talking about somebody of a Hutchinson's skill level and talent level, you don't need another alpha dog rush on the other side. You need somebody because he's going to be a double-digit sack guy if he's healthy. So whoever's on that other side, honestly, somewhere between 6 and 9 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
If you get somebody who can give you that, or a group of guys who can give you that, you good to go.
Yes.
On the other side of your guy who's going to give you double digits.
But they definitely need. Matter of fact, since I'm on the list, I'm sorry, wrong. Go back. They need. I don't know. I want you to go back that far. They need interior defensive line because they got Alan McNeil. I remember that name. Raleigh, North Carolina, Sanderson. Oh, you went to Sanderson? I know exactly what that is. Drafted in 2021. Okay, so they need a 3 tech then. Because if McNeil's the starter at 1, then they go get a pass rushing 3 tech. That'll work. That'll work for Detroit. Get a 3 tech, and they'll be fine.
So do you feel comfortable not having edge on that list, or do you think they still need to go get a 3 tech edge?
Go get an edge, but that can be later on in the draft because you have the two guys going into the second year. Plus,
it's not as pressing,
right? And plus, if you still have Charles Harris, who he didn't do anything in the first round, but if Charles Harris is your third defensive end, I'm not mad at you. So they just need another defensive end, and like I said, go get a 3 tech. Get a 3 tech, get a corner, get a tight end. Quarterback depth, and they should be fine. Detroit should be fine.
I'm we kind of just showing our hand right here, but honestly, I just feel like Detroit is the front runner for this division.
Yes.
And
Titus said this a few minutes ago, but Detroit should be a monster this coming season. I agree. The offense is going to be clicking still. That wide receiver, what is it, Williamson?
Yeah. He didn't get a full year, so we still don't know what he's going to be. He could be a monster. But
I'm sorry.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is
he's him.
Yeah. Yep. He's him,
Yes.
So
Yes.
They revitalized Jared Goff's career down there, up there, I should say, and whereas people were like they had wrote it. You want to talk about somebody writing somebody off, but he didn't write back. Jared Goff, because in that system with that team, he looks good. He looks very good.
And he's comfortable. He doesn't have to do
Yeah.
much of anything.
No, he does not. So
And he's very smart. I mean, he got the Rams to the Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. Okay, and then fell off, but gets traded to Detroit, and he's looking pretty good.
yes, sir. So yeah, I don't want to sit up here just throwing a praise party for Detroit because we gonna cover our divisions later on in the after the draft, after we see who's been drafted by who, and we're gonna go more in depth with that. But we both like Detroit, and I can speak for the other two hosts of this podcast. We like Detroit in the North. We really like Detroit.
Yes.
For what they did last year, and if they address these issues in the draft with their defense, which they've already been doing in free agency, and they go further with addressing these defensive issues, they're gonna be a problem.
Yes,
they're gonna be a problem in Detroit. You ain't gonna see. You've not seen a problem in Detroit since they shut down the Ford factory. You have not seen a problem in Detroit like this since the Flannery brothers was out there doing their thing. So I'm just saying. So my next team I'm gonna cover is the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. So they definitely need a wide receiver too.
Yes.
Amari Cooper is solid. Excuse me. Donovan Peoples-Jones is pretty good, but
it's more of a 3.
Yeah, he excels when there's other guys around him that can take away looks from the defense.
But I said I don't have a first round pick this year.
Negative.
Ouch.
So cornerback, defensive end, defensive tackle, really that whole front seven needs to be redone.
Yeah, because it's Myles Garrett by himself.
And right. He's like literally, I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations. Yeah, they got to do. And the thing is, the way the economy is in the NFL, you got one premier pass rusher. You can't really afford to have another premier pass rusher because your team's gonna go broke. You ain't gonna be able to pay anybody else because the pass rushers are coming at a premium now. I shudder to think what Nick Bosa's contract is gonna look like at the end of this year. Coming, So
okay. Oh, you know what? They do have Dalvin Thompson to be the nose tackle, so that's good.
But they still need another end because Jadeveon Clowney is still clowning.
Yeah, and he needs to retire.
And he really he can't stay healthy, and he really thinks he's like better than what he is. You got these guys that are just, I know I'm this. It's like, bruh, the film say otherwise, man.
Thank you.
It's like, well, I'm this and that. Bruh, the stats say otherwise, man. You played how many games and only got how many sacks? Come on, man. I want to say he only got 2 sacks this season.
Yeah, he hasn't. He did nothing, man. He did nothing.
Yeah.
The only other play they have in that front seven is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah at linebacker. But that's it. I mean,
he needs help.
Yeah. So the front seven is shaky. The secondary.
I mean, you got
Denzel Waters at corner,
and you also have
Greg Newsome at corner.
Well, no, safety. Oh my God,
Grant Delpit at safety.
Yes, very good safety.
And then they added Juan Thornhill from Kansas City. He hasn't done much of anything.
He's not that impressive, but
no, he's not. He's not. So,
but the old adage: how many cornerbacks do you need? The answer is more.
Yeah.
So, and I encourage every NFL roster, except for the ones I hate, to go out and draft corners, whether you need one or not. This draft, because this is a deep draft for corners and safeties, defensive backs in general. And if you don't draft a defensive back, or you just draft just one defensive back, then you losing. I don't mean losing games, but you missing out. It's kind of like if there's a sale at your favorite store, and like it's an everything must go sale, and you don't go and get 2 or 3 or whatever. It's like literally, y'all, I'm not playing. I have looked at so much film and still have more film to look at. There are defensive backs that will be starting caliber defensive backs all the way up to the 5th round.
Yes.
There are some that are that good, and a couple of more after that, after the 5th. So you're talking about day 3 guys
Yes.
that can develop into quality starters.
Yes.
That's going to be playing on a rookie contracts with you, and you're not having to pay them much, and they got a chance to go to the Pro Bowls and do this, that, and the third. So draft a corner.
Yes.
Unless I hate your team, then don't. Okay. So, but yeah, corner. I'm just telling you right now. I'm gonna put cornerback for everybody's team. What's your draft need, corner? But they got such. Get a corner. But they got such. I know they do, but get another corner. I'm just saying.
And be honest with you, I want another corner on my Cowboys anyway. I know we're not covering NFC East, but just real quick, because yes, Gilmore's on the team, but Gilmore's 32, gonna be turning 33. So
and injuries happen.
Yes.
You need some corners, man.
Yeah.
Get out there and get you some corners, bro.
Yes. So yeah, get a corner. Are you finished with Cleveland, or you got more?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with Cleveland, and I also like to add they have negative $13.4 million under the cap. So yeah, they kind of
It's bad.
They're not doing
Low down, dirty shame. Green Bay Packers. Now they need to hurry up and trade Aaron Rodgers. And they need to see what they have in Jordan Love completely. Right now I don't believe in Jordan Love. I could end up being wrong, but right now I just don't believe in Jordan Love. So they probably draft a quarterback next year when it's quarterback rich. They need receivers because Lazard is gone, and
I think they're gonna part ways with Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb need to retire.
This is another one need to go to the house. That's why I think they're gonna part ways with him.
His career got extended because of what happened and because of his performance in Dallas.
Well, Aaron Rodgers politicking for him also,
and that too. Yes,
that helped. Aaron Rodgers is like, hey man, that's my dude. Let's get it going. And they're like, okay, Aaron, whatever you want. The next thing you know, Aaron Rodgers is like, hey man, trade me.
Yeah, so they need a wide receiver. They need a they're not gonna get a quarterback now, but they do need one eventually. Tight end, yes. I don't even know who the tight end is.
Yeah, Randall Cobb is. I'm sorry, Randall Cobb is he's a free agent, which I don't think he's gonna wind up signing. If anything, he'll end up signing if some team has a lot of really, really, really bad injuries and they need just wide receivers.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that might be the reason. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Green Bay might be another one of those teams that might just be better off just not refurbishing. Just rebuild. Thank you. Rebuild. Yeah. Because their defense is not what it used to be. I know they have Jair Alexander on the team.
Got some solid defensive backs.
Yeah.
But you know what else they could use? A corner.
You in that cornerback position, man. Hey, man,
I love DBs, man.
I know. But Green Bay, and I'm trying to get to the roster real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, okay. So, okay, Kenny Clark, a nose tackle, like that's good, but he hasn't done much of anything. I mean, well, he's a nose tackle, so I'm not gonna hold that to him. I think Devontae Campbell had a good season either this past year or the year before. Rashawn Gary is okay at rush. Preston Smith is okay. Jai Alexander's that corner. Rasul Douglas that corner. He's like a nickel corner. Darnell Savage. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I just feel like they need to redo this team. I mean, I know they got Dillon at running back, Jones at running back, but
Well, I tell you what.
Here's my problem with Green Bay. I think Green Bay's just gonna be sitting either gonna be terrible or they're just gonna sit at mediocrity.
I was about to say that. This is not a terrible roster, but it's not a good one either.
Right. And they gonna hover. And I mean you can't do 500 anymore because of 17 games, but they're gonna hover around that point of being 8-9, 9-8, 7-10.
And here's the thing: a lot of the games they won, you don't want to get. A lot of people don't want to give them credit, but a lot of games they shouldn't have won. They won just sheerly because of the willpower of Aaron Rodgers,
and because for some odd reason, Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions and should not have beaten Dallas.
Yeah, so that too. So if you look at that, you take away the Aaron Rodgers factor, and we still don't know what Jordan Love is going to be.
Right.
He hasn't started enough games, and that's a whole nother conversation that we need to probably address, but not right now, is about quarterbacks who hadn't had enough starts and people are already making decisions and making claims. Oh, he's wonderful, and he ain't started over 10 games. Oh, he's trash, and he ain't started over 10 games. So, you know, we got to be fair with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Now, if he turns out to be what a lot of people think he is, then it won't matter what that roster looks like.
That is true now. That is true. But as of right now, that team could end up going into rebuild mode soon. And actually, Mike LaFleur really has benefited from Aaron Rodgers up to this point. And I think he's about to get exposed as a head coach.
And that's my point. Because we're going to find out what kind of quarterback Jordan Love is. We're going to find out what kind of coach LaFleur is without Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But they obviously, and I don't want to take attention from what the point is by draft needs. They have definitely got to cover some serious needs. You know, Christian Watson is truly their number one wide receiver. I think he can be. But what are you going to do for wide receiver 2 and 3? What are you going to do for tight end?
Well, so Romeo Doubs needs to step up as number 2. But yeah, you're right. They do need a tight end because Mercedes Lewis, who is about as old as I am or a year older, he's a free agent. That's somebody else that needs to retire.
Go to the house. What are you going to do at kicker?
Yeah, Crosby's a free agent.
Yes.
Crosby is a free agent. So we can't be walking around with some little bubble. Hey, you know what? That could really shoot Green Bay in the foot bad because if the head coach don't work out, your quarterback don't work out, and you don't have a kicker, we can talk about everybody else all we want to. Your head coach need to be able to coach in tight situations to get you a victory. Your quarterback need to be clutch, and your kicker need to be clutch. If you ain't got that, you're in trouble. I don't care who's on that roster.
So to reiterate, go through Green Bay's draft needs again.
Well, so I really didn't get into it too much, but wide receiver, tight end, safety, front 7 period, which is interior defensive line, edge, and off-ball linebacker, and then it also says interior offensive line, which is guard. So yeah, they could end up in rebuild mode probably, if not 2024, then 2025 at the latest. But we'll see what happens with Jordan Love. Well, I could be wrong. But right now, I don't believe in the head coach. I don't believe in the quarterback, and they don't have a kicker. So
yeah, right now, if Jordan Love turns out to be what the front office of this team thinks he is, then we have a different conversation.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna have to have a team around him, definitely.
Yes.
And quiet as kept. Another position that I would add to that list would probably be offensive tackle because Bakhtiari is no spring chicken.
How old is he now?
Uh, he's been in the league for a while, and also he's injury prone.
Yeah, he's been hurt a lot. He's 31, but so he's gonna be 32 in September. But yeah, he's right. He's been hurt, hurt. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um yeah, Green Bay is I'm gonna say this right now. Those fans have been spoiled with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
And
two back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
matter of fact, you and I we had that conversation one time on the show about being quarterback spoiled, man. You had Joe
Ugh.
Montana and Steve Young.
And then
And
we had Jeff Garcia, and everybody hated him. But come to find out, Jeff Garcia was probably the third highest rated passer in San Francisco 49ers history.
and don't surprise me. And
Yeah.
then, like I said, we went through 8 different starting quarterbacks in between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. So yes, spoiled at quarterback is a real thing. Who's your last team in the AFC North?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Still Curtin.
Okay, so first thing first, they've got to find an answer at defensive end, edge rusher on the other side of TJ Watt. Somebody who's consistent. I feel like that's definitely a need. They got to do something at corner. I'm not saying that because I like corners. I really feel like this team needs help at corner. And this will be the draft to do it in.
Yes.
George Pickens has shown that he can be the dude
At wide receiver,
at
yes.
wide receiver. He is. Nobody really paid attention to it, but it was like this guy was making some amazing catches, and I think that he needs a Robin to his Batman. I think he can go forward and basically progress from where he was last year. But corner is definitely a need because
No, they don't need a corner. They got Patrick Peterson.
corner is a need.
Peterson.
Corner is a need.
Peterson.
Patrick Peterson is 137 years old.
He's somebody else that didn't retire.
Patrick Peterson is 137 years old.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
What's your dangerous grandpa?
So corner is a need. Corner is definitely a need. Edge rush on the other side of TJ Watt.
Yes.
Again, it was one of those situations where, hey man, get a guy that can give you 6 to 9 sacks a season on the other side of TJ Watt. Now you got a prolific pass rush.
Yeah, and they talking about bring back Bud Dupree, man.
Huh?
They talking about bring back Bud Dupree.
You can do work. You know what? That's another position that's deep, and you know more than I do. That's another position that's pretty deep in this draft. You do not have to go get retreads. Go draft you a guy.
Yeah.
Go draft you a guy and develop him. You do
As a matter
not.
of fact, hold on. Let me see where they pick in the first round.
I can get to it faster. But they draft 17, 32, and 49. 17, 32, and 49. Those are their top 100 picks. Picks within the top 100, I should say.
Yo, so they got, wait, you said 17, 32, and 49?
17, 32, 49.
Yo, that's nice. That's nice.
They
can add some players and really try to contend, because I'm not expecting much out of Cleveland this year. I'm not expecting much out of Baltimore, especially if they lose Lamar Jackson. Pittsburgh could be the second best team in that division.
They could push Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They could.
Yeah.
They have the ability to push Cincinnati. So so I have corner, wide receiver, edge, and I think they need to go ahead and start looking for a replacement for Cam Hayward at defensive tackle.
Because he's up there.
He's still got something in the tank, but at this point they need to kind of start looking for his replacement at this point.
He was drafted in 2011.
Say again?
I did not realize he was drafted in 2011.
Yeah, and the best thing to do, the best philosophy to do when you're trying to find a replacement for a guy is don't wait till you need to find a
Thank you.
replacement for a guy. You get his replacement
Now,
before he's gone. So you got time to train this kid up and get him ready. Prime example, we're talking about quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers, they drafted Brett Favre's replacement long before Brett Favre was done.
exactly.
And that's the philosophy you should have. Don't wait till your older players are completely done. Like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Let's draft the guy. Let's get a guy in free agency. No, you see him getting long in the tooth. He's still got a couple more years left on his contract. Draft that guy then.
You know, they need an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, I got that on here too. Yeah, linebacker. That's on my notes.
Because I mean, Cole Holcomb is a 5.3 middle linebacker on a scale of 0 to 10. He's a name in NFC East circles, but they need off-ball linebacker.
They are far removed from the defense that we know from the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not that defense anymore. It's
no.
Yeah, it's really not that. So they are really far removed from that. So
definitely,
they're gonna have to retool that defense. Possibly give Cody Pickett some more toys to play with.
Kenny Pickett.
I don't know why I say Cody. Kenny Pickett, thank you. Kenny Pickett some more toys to play with.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they got something in him. Time will tell, but I think they have something in him moving forward. This is a team that historically drafts well. So they don't necessarily like knock it out of the park when it comes to
household names.
Well, no, I was about to say in free agency. They don't knock it out of the park necessarily that way, but they draft well. That's one of the things you can say about most of the teams, most of them in the AFC North is that they draft well.
Yes.
Except for the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to wide receivers. But for the most part, these teams draft well. So it's going to be really interesting to watch them, these teams on draft days, plural, to see what happens. But yeah, that's my analysis for the AFC North.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see what transpires in the draft. And then, we can talk about who we think is going to win what after that.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the last team that we will discuss tonight are the Chicago Bears. They're not going to go quarterback because they believe in Justin Fields. Now they lost.
That's why they traded back.
Yeah, they traded from 1 to 9. They lost David Montgomery, running back, but you can find a running back later on the draft. They acquired 2 linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. So that should work for them. So they're good at linebacker. But they need an offensive tackle. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Timeout. Yeah, they need an offensive tackle. They probably just need offensive line, period.
Protect your investment.
Yeah.
Protect your investment.
Yes. Corner. You're gonna need interior. You're gonna need defensive line, period, because you want to make sure your linebackers are clean. And it will help to have a tight end because tight ends are quarterback's best friend. So, offensive lineman to protect Justin Fields, get a running back, corner, always needed. Defensive line to keep your linebackers clean, because you have 2 linebackers who, since Matt Eberflus is the head coach and he used to be a linebackers coach, I know him very well. I mean, not personally, but I know how he is as a coach for linebackers. If he brings in those 2 guys, Edmonds and Edwards, then he covered his.
I was just about to say, man, Tremaine Edmonds is
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
because I mean they literally swapped out linebackers if you think about it. Because
now
you had Roquan Smith and Tremaine Edmonds when they were coming out in the draft. They were 1 and 2 as the best off the ball linebackers, and they drafted Roquan Smith. After they drafted Roquan Smith defected, got traded to Baltimore. So he said, okay, let's go get the other guy. He's available. And I mean, I don't think there's going to be any efficiency lost.
No, it's not going to be efficiency lost. But the difference is because of Edmonds' size, and I heard, I'm not sure how true it is, but Chicago could be going back Tampa too. And so they got that Brian Urlacher type player at middle linebacker that's going to run down the seam with the tight end.
He fits the mold. And he can do that.
6'5", 50 plus?
Yeah. But he can move.
Yes.
Chet can move.
Yes.
But so I don't know, so you're saying with linebacker in Chicago that they still need to draft one to flesh out the linebacker room, or
no. They good at linebacker. Okay. Now could it add depth? Sure, fine. But between Edmonds at the mic and Edwards, who they brought from Philadelphia, I trust Matt Eberflus for linebackers. I've said it so many times on this program since we've been on here. I trust Eberflus when it comes to linebackers. So get a defensive line, get your defensive line, so you can keep those guys clean.
So do you think they need a corner?
No.
I'm throwing the corners out, Larry. Corner, you get a corner, you get a corner, you get a corner. But they in the NFC, I don't want them to do well. So
Chicago Bears. So yeah, that's it. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we will be talking about
the East, right?
You want to do East or West?
East.
Let's do it. AFC East, NFC East, and hopefully Steve and Trish can join us next week because they have their favorite teams playing the NFC East. Mine does too. Actually, me and Steve both like the Cowboys, and Trish like the Commanders. But we need to definitely get those guys back on here at some point. Now, like I said, Steve got blown 20 yards down the football field, so hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna check on him. We're making jokes, but there's like a heavy thunderstorm and tornado watch in his area. That's why he wasn't able to get on tonight. So just keep him in your thoughts because he's actually not swinging from a pole tonight and with chicken grease and glitter on him at the dad bar strip. He's not doing that. So we got to make sure that he's okay and he can actually come on here and everything. So. But
and then Trisha's busy doing push-ups downstairs in the basement. Don't ask me why. But
I don't even get that reference. But okay,
don't ask. It was bad. Anyway, so yeah, next week we cover AFC East, NFC East. That means Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, Patriots. Going through some changes. There's some rumors about them. Jets, Dolphins, and Buffalo Bills. And man, Buffalo could be in trouble. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are currently live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can follow us on Introduction, TikTok, IG, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. I am your quarter host, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia and the Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. That way, Panel 316 coming straight out of H-Town.
I'm just a dude who likes football, man. That's all.
And cornerbacks.
Draft a corner.
If there's anything you ever learned from this show ever, draft a corner.
You always need more. Draft a corner.
Just like Edge. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.